What's up everybody? Sasquatch runner here, Stretch Doc, and one day out from Bootleg Boogie 100, which is, tomorrow. By this time tomorrow, I don't know, we'll be kicking it. Anyways, hey, I wanted to show you guys, I'm self-crewing, so I've set up a bunch of my stuff, and we're all set, so I'm just gonna go real quick through it and show you guys what's up. All right, so this standard 3-stack drawer, I just basically got them labeled based off of my loops 1, 2, and 3, 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7. But inside each one, and again, I'm trying to make this super easy so I don't have to think when I get there. I'm gonna be starting off, I got everything pre-packaged in bags with just a little note because I was taking notes and calculating how many calories, and then I just stuffed everything in there. So I'm using anything from Hammer Gels, Precision Nutrition, Huma gels, some Quest bars, some Trader Joe's bars, protein bars, muffins, chips, Chex Mix. I have kind of a plethora of different varieties of food that I've just set out throughout the day. Plus I'll also see what they have on the aid station and pick from there if I need anything, but mostly I'm planning on carrying everything. But like I said, this is the start. So at the start, I'll just basically grab this. I also have my bottles in here. So I've just pre-mixed all the bottles with the powder in there. So all I got to do is fill them up with water. I'll have a water container at my car as well, so I can just hurry up and do that. I don't have to worry about going into the aid station and messing with anything, but this is all the start. So then when I come back on the next loop, I basically just, well, this should already be eaten. I basically just throw this bottle down into the old stuff, and then I got another bottle that's already designated for the end of the next loop. Tells me how many, I put how many miles where I'm at, 12.5, loop 1. I calculated the loops, like I got to complete a loop, that's loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. You come up with your own system and how that works for you. But for me, brainless, I just grab this next bottle, fill it up with water, grab the next pack, and away I go, and just keep chipping away at these as I go through. And again, I just labeled everything. So start, so I'm gonna grab this right at the start. I'll chew on that right away, probably before breakfast. And then once we go through all that, now again, the goal is to make sure all that stuff is empty by the time we come back on that loop. It's a 12.5-mile loop. Then we get into the next loop 4 or 5, same thing. This one I have just a clip on because it's going into the nighttime. So I have a little bit more stuff that I'm gonna start carrying at night, just a little more food, just because it might be going a little bit slower, most likely. And I just wanna make sure I don't run out of things that I want. So I just clip this. But same principle, grab it, away I go, stuff it in my pack, and then just keep moving. 6, 7, and 6, 7. And then we just keep going all the way through. So that's how I'm gonna be crewing out of my food out of there, and then let's move on to the next one. All right, moving on to clothes. And one of the things I've learned from a good buddy, Remo Ultra Running, and check him out, I'll tag him, and so you can see him, but you can check him out. He's a great dude, great coach. He's been doing tons of ultras, and he's very knowledgeable. But I helped crew him at the Mammoth 200 last year, and one of the things I noticed that he did, and I don't know why I've never thought about this, maybe you guys out there have, but he basically had all his clothes and he just pre-packaged everything, and he just had like long sleeves. So I got long sleeves, short sleeves, extra short sleeves, night gear. So there's a jacket, there's another long sleeve. So these are things I'll change into when I come in. I like changing my clothes, kind of just depending on how sweaty I am. Tomorrow's supposed to be around 70 degrees for the high. So if I'm sweaty and I don't know, I stink, I don't like stinking while I'm running, I'll change my shirts, especially in something like this where you have multiple access to crewing. So, and then I just have like another bag here, bandanas, towels, and an ice bandana because I think it's going to be a little bit warm, so I'm prepared to put some little ice around my neck. And then here, just all the night gear stuff, charging batteries, charge my phone, extra cord for charging my watch if I have to, and then as well as I can carry that stuff, so I can clip them on and away I go, and then take off, so I don't have to stay obviously at the vehicle. But this was super good. One of the best things I learned from him while crewing for him, because it just made it so easy. And he knew exactly what he needed. So when he came in, he would just be like, hey, I need the long sleeve shirts. And so I would just rumble through the bag, find long sleeve shirts. He had a couple packed in there, and he'd be like, give me the red one, give me the blue one, whichever one he wanted at that time. So super good. That was a great thing I learned. And then I just have all my starting clothes already in here. They're not packaged because I'm going to get dressed in the morning and away I go. I do have a night loop lamp, so I have it designated depending on how fast I'm going. It's either going to get dark on me while I'm out there, or I'm going to make it back just in time where I'll have to grab this. But I just wrote a couple notes on there based off of my time. Once I get to the end of the second loop, depending on the time, I either have to grab this, and I don't have to think about it. I just look at the thing, oh yeah, if it's after 1 p.m., I need to grab this. Otherwise, I'll just keep going. And then up here in the front, toothbrush, deodorant, that's it. Brush my teeth at some point on there, extra sunglasses, and again, there's just another deodorant. And that's all basically for this bag. This bag is just basically my clothes bag, and again, with everything pre-packaged. Luckily, it's not going to be super cold at night, so I don't have to have super big jackets. We're probably going to be in the mid to low 40s at some point. So gloves, long sleeve, and a pullover, I'll probably be good to go. Let's get on to the next one. Super. All right, here's the bag you don't want to use. I don't want to see this bag. I don't want to need anything out of this bag. I don't even want to think, well, I have to get something out of this bag. And why? Because it's the medical bag. And so in this little box, I have all the foot gear. If I need to get blisters, do anything, tape them up, that kind of stuff. Extra cream, powders for blisters, squirrels, nut butter, anything like that. I do have another one that's in my clothes bag, so if I need to lube anything up for chafing, I can there. But anyways, this is mostly for the feet. Just a couple extra lamps in case it's dark in there. Obviously, if I need it at night, I'll have my headlamp on, but I can throw these out. Extra light headlamp in case my one burns out or something happens to it. I also have the walking sticks in here, which I'll end up taking those out because I probably will use those throughout the night. On this side over here, I have all like sunscreen. Again, because it's going to be warmer tomorrow, I'm definitely going to make sure we have some sunscreen. And if I have to come through there and grab extra, I will leave one out as I come into the crew and just spray down real quick. But if I need more, it's in there. And then lastly, on this far side over here is, again, more stuff that we hopefully don't need. Tylenol, ibuprofen. Don't really like taking any of that stuff, especially when we're out running. But if we have to, we got it there. I also have some allergy medicine because I always get runny nose. And then just lastly, some muscle stuff, BioFreeze, Temple Tonic. It's all CBD kind of stuff for your muscles. And if we happen to need that, that's in there as well. Other than that, again, hopefully I don't have to see this bag, but if I do, it's all here. All right, this box right here is basically extra gear. Extra little food, extra little gels. I got an extra bladder hose. But mostly, again, this is a handheld if I need to switch to a handheld for any reason. But anyways, just a few extra snacks, salt, Pop-Tarts, drinks, and some gels, gloves if you need gloves. I also have some soap, hand cleaner, paper towels, but pretty straightforward on this. This is all extra things I probably won't need, but in case you do, at least you have it. And lastly, we just basically have our running shoes. I got 2 pairs of shoes there. I'm going to start in the black ones. Orange ones are in case I need to switch later. I am bringing a third one just in case for any reasons. Why? Because I can. I just drive 30 minutes over there. Also got a cooler for the water. Again, I'll put some ice in there, have some cool water, and I'll fill up my bottles from that. This is the pack I'm using. This is the extra pack in case I need to switch for some reason that it's not working anymore. I don't like it or whatever, but I should be good for that for the whole race. Both of them carry the bottles, so I'm good for that. And then lastly, just a smaller cooler, which I'm going to have drinks in it, and basically just a little bit of ice, cold water, cold drinks. I have some coffee, some Red Bull, and some core protein drinks. I sip on those kind of in and out. And then obviously one of the big things that I'm going to have too is I'm doing some instant mashed potatoes and ground beef. And so what I'll do with that is I have kind of like a thermos, if you will, cook it up, put it in there, stays warm. Will it stay warm the whole time? I don't know. That's a long time for it to stay warm for over 24 hours, but luckily I don't need like super hot food as long as it's somewhat lukewarm, and I'll eat most of it probably through the mid-afternoon and night. But again, it's really just coming in, take a couple of bites, and away you go, and put it back, and I'm out of there. And that's it for the rest of the gear. We're all set. Let's talk about the next one. All right, so what's the plan here? Well, the plan is, obviously, let's get it done. Let's finish. So I have different pace setups based off of each loop. So I'm really focusing on completing one loop at a time. It's 12.5 mile loops, as I said, and just getting the loop done and staying ahead of the overall pace that you need to complete this race in 36 hours, which I should be able to do even with cruise stops. So my main cruise stop, which is at the start and finish, is I'm planning about 6 minutes on average. I've practiced this, and just by changing out the bottles, grabbing the bags, and away I go, I've done that in less 3 minutes. So if I do that the first couple loops, I'm fine. If I happen to take a little bit longer towards the nighttime, changing out the shirts, the gear, anything like that, and we're upwards of 6-10 minutes, I'm gonna be okay. And the reason that is because once we get to the other two aid stations, Caldera and Veterans, I'm not really planning on stopping. If I need to stop at Caldera, it's gonna be just for water, and that's just gonna be a quick refill on my bottle. I will have water in my pack still, so I know I won't need to stop. I'll be able to complete the full loop with the water in my pack. But since it's going to be hotter, I'm probably going to stop at Caldera and refill that water in the bottle. If I need to stop at Veterans, it's just a water refill and it's in and out, but otherwise I don't really have to. It's 2.5 miles from Veterans aid station back to the start finish, which is my crew car, so should be okay from that. So that cuts out one stop, one aid stop. So again, even at even at Caldera, even if I'm less than 2 minutes, fill a water bottle and away you go. Usually it probably takes less than a minute to get in and out of that. So really planning on not spending more than an hour and a half of total time at different aid station stops. Mostly the start finish is going to be the longest one because that's where I'm picking up all my gear, changing out bottles, changing out gear, and changing out shoes if I have to, and away I go from there. But that's okay. Not bringing a chair. We're not sitting down. If I need to sit, I'm just going to sit down on the edge of the tailgate. If I need to jump in the side and actually sit to change a shoe or something, then that's what I'll do. But I'm not bringing any chairs, and we don't got time to be sitting around. I'm not fast, so I got to keep moving. Other than that, let's see what else. I'm excited to go. Definitely nervous. It's been a while since we've been out there for this kind of distance, so my goal is, again, one loop at a time and just keep moving. What's really nice mentally from one loop at a time is that because it's a 12.5 mile loop, and from the start to Caldera aid station is about 6.5 miles, in your brain, if things aren't feeling good and your body's not feeling good, just keep moving. That's 6.5 miles, just get to that next Caldera aid station, because that just added 6.5 miles. And then from Caldera down to Veterans, you're about 3.5 miles, 3 miles, and then from Veterans back to the start finish, 2.5 miles. So if you keep working these aid stations, you're going to complete that 12.5 mile loop. And then you'll be like, whoa, I got to go around again. Don't think about going all the way around. Think about it's only 6 miles to the next one. It's only 3 miles to the next one. And then guess what? There's another loop, another loop. So that's my goal. That's my plan. Work those loops one at a time. Stay positive. It's not going to be easy. These things aren't easy. There's a lot of elevation gain out there for 12.5 miles, about 2,000 feet. I think it's just under 2,000 feet. So we're going to get close to 16,000 feet of elevation gain and loss. The trail's technical. It's rocky. It's going to be a little bit warmer. So all these factors add up. And big thing is staying on top of the nutrition. Keep eating, staying hydrated, keeping your electrolytes. And you got to start early and not go out too fast either. I don't know how many people are in the race. Today's packet pickup. I'm going to ask when I get over there what the number is, and we'll see where we go. But tomorrow morning, race starts at 6. I got about a 30-minute drive from my house. I want to be there around 5:15. So I'm going to be up probably by 4, out the door by 4:30, 4:45 at the latest, and get over there, get ready. It's going to be cool in the morning, so I'm still kind of playing with what I'm going to wear tomorrow morning at the start, but I honestly think I'm just going to start in a short sleeve shirt, gloves, hat, shorts, away I go, simply because in that first mile to 2 miles, you start climbing and up Black Mountain, and the sun's going to come up, and once that sun comes up, we're going to start getting warmer quicker. And again, I just don't want to be hot in a long sleeve shirt and have to stop and change on the first 12.5 mile loop. So I think I'll just suck it up, be a little cold when you start, but again, you'll be all right. Anyways, stay tuned. I'll do some updates. I'll try and get these posted and get them out tonight so you guys can. There's no tracking involved in this. This is kind of a low-key race, Bootleg Boogie 100 here in Las Vegas, Nevada, aka Boulder City. So there's no tracking. I'll try and give an update on my social media, Sasquatch Runner, and that's it. Let's have fun. Let's go, everybody. Here's the shirt. Bury the excuses. No excuses. Just keep moving.